Can I do one more? I think I'd do one more, right? From Kevin, Dear Andrew, my wife and I have an adult daughter with significant special needs caused by brain trauma when she was born 10 weeks early. I recently saw a tweet stating that having an abortion can increase a woman's odds of preterm birth in later pregnancies. Before my wife became a Christian and before we met, she had 2 abortions. The news that her abortions may have contributed to our daughter's problems is painful to me. My inclination is to keep this news to myself to protect my wife. However, I'm a little worried that carrying this information alone could create a wedge in our happy marriage. Okay. First of all, there is some science behind this, that abortion can lead to preterm births. There is some science behind that, but like all these things, that could change, and you don't know in your particular case. And you certainly should follow your inclinations and keep this to yourself. And if you need to talk to somebody, a therapist or something, talk to it. What I think you are really dealing with, and I'm going to be blunt about this, the heart is filled with all kinds of irrational feelings, and you're not to blame for that. That's true of everybody's heart. That's true of everyone. But I think you are harboring beneath the surface of your consciousness, I think you're harboring the idea that somehow this is a punishment on your wife. And you're angry, I think, somewhere in a subterranean level. You're angry at your wife for having done something that was brought back as a punishment on your daughter. That's not true. That's not how God works. God is not punishing your wife. He's not punishing your daughter. This is a tragic thing. Tragic things happen in life. And yes, we make bad choices, and that sometimes leads to tragedy. But this is not your wife's fault, and it is not your daughter's fault, and it's not a punishment from God. Your daughter is a blessing from God. You just have to find that blessing. I know it's difficult, and I know she's suffering and all this, but I think you have to find where that blessing is. That's why we don't abort our children, because we know they're going to be a blessing. So when you want to tell her about this, what I think you really want to do is I think you really want to bring out your anger. And I know you may not feel that anger, but I think it's there, and I think you want to accuse her and tell her that God is punishing her. Keep it to yourself, and if you have to deal with it in some other way, go to a therapist, go to a friend, and talk it through, because this is not a punishment. You are blessed with a wife who has found her way. She, in becoming a Christian, she has been forgiven. Now you have to forgive her too. God has forgiven her. Now you have to forgive her too, and move on and try to find the blessing in a difficult situation.